I'm very glad that we've also happened to have our next speaker, who's right here in front of me. Raheel, I think you're next. Raheel from GameStorm is going to come and talk to us about data and analytics, shaping the future of gaming and maximizing ROI. And I believe your video is built into your slides, hopefully.
Hi everyone, welcome to GameExpo Summit. I would say marhaba and ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome to Dubai as well. So my name is Raheel Iqbal. I'm CEO at the GameStorm Studios. We're a network of mobile game developers and publishers based out of Pakistan. So my talk today is about how data and analytics helping shaping up the future of global gaming industry, and also very importantly, how data and analytics helping game developers and publishers maximizing their ROI, their return on investment, because obviously in this business, the bottom line is that really matters. So publishers and developers are always looking for actually maximizing the ROI. So moving on, so first and foremost, in my topic today, so I'll be sharing my team's experience of developing and publishing games across, like we've published so many games across the multiple app stores, and a wide range of genres that we have covered so far, ranging from casual to smart casual to hyper casual to mid-core farming games to MMORPGs to brain puzzles. So all the experiences that we have covering all those genres and how to maximize we can maximize the ROI and publishing facts, the data that we have gathered so far. So I'll be sharing all those facts and figures in this my topic today. So first and foremost things, from ideation to scale and growth, the first and foremost things is game design and development. So we rely heavily on our historic data on ideation process, okay? So these days, the main challenge for publishers and game developers is to test the markets as soon as possible they can. So the first and foremost thing is that data helps us to, for better, to take informed decisions. So developers and publishers are now having more informed decisions in terms of reducing the production time. So this is very challenging because these days you have to decide that whether you're going to invest how much money on your production life cycle or on your user acquisition life cycle. So publishers and developers mostly looking up for an ideal solution where they can rely on their historic data in terms of game design development. They're able to produce better quality in less amount of time, and the games that are more addictive, and they know how to target different audiences, different marketplaces. So data helps us in reducing amount of time in development and publishing, and then we are able to spend more on user acquisitions. So the second and most important thing is the marketing and monetization. So the thing is that data helps us that we can actually segment our users more effectively and more accurately. So you can target your marketing campaigns accordingly. You can actually target segmenting your users from your spending users to your non-spending users. And then there's increase. With the data, you can actually increase your acquisition percentages from 20 to 40%. So this is a very important point where actually this is the make or break or time for any studio or any publisher. If you're not able to scale your product, you will be most probably stuck in a spending versus non-spending cycle, and that is where most of the studios run out of cash and they have to decide for something else. So scale and growth is something which is critical and which is very important. So how data helps in terms of scaling is that first of all, that these days publishers rely a lot on their communities. So they have community managers where they know how they target their different communities. For example, if you're launching a brain puzzle application, so you will go to your community manager and say, okay, we're going to test a beta test, and obviously, with the help of your historic data, you're able to compile a well-placed product in less amount of time and for more quality. So you're going to go to your community manager, and it's going to help you to target only the audience which are more prone, which are more accurate, which are more aware of a brain puzzle or simulator action simulator games. So this is where you need to scale up. So what I will share some of the practices that we follow. So in terms of scale and growth, we have our own matrices. So if you are able to achieve 20 to 25 impressions per daily active users, if you have rewarded percentage of more than 30 to 40%, and if you're able to optimize the user acquisition campaigns, you will be able to scale your gaming product from 1.2 times to 1.8 times. So talking about numbers, a very interesting slide about how the gaming industry, overall gaming industry is evolving. So if we have a look from 2017 to 2023, the global gaming industry from $120 billion now is at $220 billion. And by 2026, it is with a compound annual growth rate of 10%, it is expected to cross $300 billion industry. So the industry is huge and massive. And we can see that from 2017 to 2023, the main segment that actually growed is the mobile. So mobile is a segment where if you're trying to publish or develop something, so mobile is a segment that you should target. Another important factor is that the consumer spending, the overall global consumer spending, worldwide consumer spending is also more effective and more adequate on the mobile segment, on the mobile side. Also, we see a huge shift on advertisement side. We see a lot of brands and a lot of international brands are now focusing from different media, from web and TV media, they are now focused more towards the mobile media. They want to run their ad campaigns, and they're approaching publishers and developers directly to run their campaigns on their targeted audience. So this is where the consumer spending is overall increasing, and we can see the growth is coming into the mobile segment. And why not? Because overall, the global gaming players around the globe has crossed almost 3 billion. So a very important fact that if you're targeting something, if you're trying to publish or develop something, so this is a genre-wise comparison of revenue versus downloads. So we can see by downloads, the hyper-casual is no doubt the number one place to be. Hyper-casual is the most downloaded and most played genre in the world, globally. But revenue-wise, role-playing games are on top. So in terms of revenue, RPGs and there's a shift from hyper-casual to smart-casual recently in the industry, and we see that RPG and brain puzzle RPGs are more popular these days. So before going on, jumping to MENA market, let's have a look at APAC market. So we know that half of the global players in the world, they are from APAC. So global gaming, we say players are almost 3 billion players globally. Half of them are from APAC market. And APAC market, we see a craze of gaming, and especially when there was a shift from pay to play to free to play, and now play to earn. When we see a shift from free to play to earn game, this was the market. The APAC is region which is most, the first one to come, and we see many hits like X Infinity, so many more from this region. So APAC is the market, but MENA is the next upcoming region. So the revenue in the MENA is exciting with more than 10% compound annual growth rate. And a very important and very interesting fact from MENA market is that most of the players, they have more appetite of playing, but obviously they have more appetite of spending. So if you're looking for, targeting your audience or optimizing your campaigns, you should look for this region, because highest spenders are based in this region, and this is no doubt the next upcoming market. So if you're targeting MENA market, there's a very important fact that which genre you should target. So by download, again, hyper casual, but in this region, the most popular genre by spending is strategy. We see a lot of strategy and battle games, and we see with social integration, social interaction, we see there's that the MENA market, the MENA players, they actually, in competition, they spent more on battle games in terms of, when they interact socially. And 70% of MENA players are more aware of esports. So if you find a mobile gaming user, he's more prone to playing or participating in any sort of esports competition as well. So a very important fact that how AI is actually, besides data analytics, how AI is actually evolving the pipeline of production, reducing the time and improving the quality. So we see that now the developers and publishers are able to give their players more enhanced experience using right AI tools. And I was participating in Google Gaming Growth Lab, and there was a very interesting question asked by one of the participants that with the introduction of ChatGPT, Midjourney, and Creative Fabrica, because these are the AI-based tools, and the people think that maybe their jobs will be replaced by these tools, but no, it's not going to happen. Basically, these tools are there to help you. These tools are there to help publishers and developers so they can optimize their ad campaigns. When you run A/B testing, we see that acquisition campaigns rely heavily on creatives. And we run a lot of A/B testing to set optimum level of creatives for better conversions. So with help of these tools, we are able to increase our acquisitions from 20 to 40 and 50%. And these tools are actually help you to localize your content. For example, one of our Derby games we launched, and it gained a lot of attraction in MENA and in Brazil. So the acquisition was 20%. But the help of these tools, we localized the creatives because it was difficult for us to how to, what the local market. So if we take an example of KFC, we know KFC in China is very different than KFC you find in any other region. That's how they localize. So with the help of these tools, we localized the ad campaigns, we localized the creatives, and we were able to increase our acquisitions from 20 to 40 to 50%. So obviously, AI is there to help you to, because without human brains, AI cannot be, replace humans. Obviously, it's not possible. So one of the case studies in our, the mid-core farming games, we have almost with 40 billion downloads. So we leveraged local events like prompting for Eid or Diwali or any such local events. We localized the content, and we saw increase in acquisition and retention from 50 to 60%. So these are very useful use cases that based on the data, and we analyze our historic data. And we make decisions on that data to increase our conversions from 8 to 10%, and obviously our, what we say, the console conversions increase from 15 to 20%. So if you're looking to, the key takeaways for today is that obviously if you're looking forward to publish or develop something, you need to target your audience, you need to target your region, test the market first. Early to market is always better. So what we usually practice is that 1 or 2 months of development life cycle, go to the market, test, and iterative improvement processes. Actually, we are able to increase our return on investments from 1.2 times to 1.8 times. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Hello? Yes, there we go. Good. Right. Anyone got any questions? I have plenty, but does anyone have any questions? I'm going to come around and ask that. As I'm walking around, just one of the things that strikes me is I love your graph about getting to live. That's exactly the stuff. What do you think about post-live? What are the actions that you're looking at post-launch about maximizing and sustaining a particular game in market?
So you're talking about post-launch?
I like to.
So the number one thing is the post-launch, number one metric we should look at the retention, D1, D7, D30, and then the impression count and rewarded video percentage. And then the most important thing, you should be able to segment your rewarded versus your paying users. So,
absolutely.
Yes.
I like to try and think about my conversion pipeline. So I'm looking at ad use. Then I'm looking at those who convert to ad use. I'm then looking at those who convert to one-off payment, and then who then buy VIP platforms, and I'm looking for an increase in like the percentage of that funnel from nothing to ad use to something to reoccurring, and that to me is fascinating, particularly if you can get repeat my favorite stat is percentage of repeat users, so repeat spenders, sorry. But so I'm not just interested in repeat users and retention, which I love,
This definitely.
but the percentage
yes.
of repeat spenders. Oh my
Repeat
goodness.
spenders, yes.
Sorry, I hijacked that time. I'll pass it to you.
Raheel, my question is actually an extension or a spin-off from the post-launch thing that Oscar mentioned. See, organic users are drying up right now on every platform. So how do you think that these avenues or these areas can help scale a game, given that you don't have any organic users?
So that's a very, very interesting question, because obviously most of the developers and publishers rely a lot on organic growth, but we see there's a decline in organic acquisitions. So even I see a lot of games are climbing up the charts, but they are unable to have more organic users, even with the conversions of more than 20 to more than 40 to 50% user acquisitions. But the organic is actually squeezing. So this is actually, most of the publishers, what they want is they don't want organic users. They want inorganic growth. You know why? Because that is how where you're able to scale and sustain. So scalability is one thing, but then you should be able to sustain your users. So if you see at the historic data, that even if you have a look at our data, so we see that whenever there's an increase in organic growth, we always see that the retention matrices are affected badly after like second, third week, because those were the users, they came to the game accidentally. Maybe they were just exploring something, or they came here like accidentally, but they were not your original, your genuine users. So the thing is, inorganic is always long-term and sustainable. And if you're able to sustain your inorganic growth, you will see from 1.2% to, and in our cases, we have seen like 2 times of return on investments if you're able to sustain your inorganic growth. So that is better, long-term, and more sustainable.
I pretty much agree with that. We like to segment the two different in exactly the same way. I'm actually looking at the organic as the kind of what happens if someone stumbles into your game. What's the difference in day one retention between them and the people who you acquire? And usually they're a lot lower in day one retention. But more than that, I think there's a different change that's happened, I think, post-IDFA, this world we're in, where brand building is how we're sourcing our nearly organic. Let's not call it organic, because it's not. They're not stumbling in, but it means that I often refer to it as the K factor. So the fact that we are spending money, the fact that we are building communities, the fact that we're going to start seeing people using streaming on mobile to show off our games in the same way we are on PC. In fact, a lot of the PC techniques are now relevant to us.
Because the problem with the PC testing is the beauty for mobile platform is that you're able to test beta more effectively. And if you have your audiences, if you have your community, if your community managers are able to target your product to the right audiences, your almost 70% is accurate.
Absolutely.
So, and from there you can actually scale and growth. So
what's been fascinating for us is that we're starting to do this on PC as well. So we're taking mobile techniques and applying them to PC, and PC techniques and applying them to mobile, and both sides are improving as a direct
So see
result.
that one time that the PC was driving mobile, now mobile is driving PC.
well, it's more the mindset of building a brand. It's not something we've had to do in mobile for so long, and I think now we do, because exactly to your point, we've lost the organic. Well, how do we get that back? Well, we have to build an awareness around our games, our brands, our publishing, our developers, for players to care about. I'm going to quickly ask one last question, because I know I'm talking too much. Anyone got a last question they want to add?
And
I think we
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.